So moving forward, I hear the door and folks are still coming in, so we are welcoming everyone. Come on in. So let me tell you a little bit about my background as folks are coming in and we're getting ready to get started. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I've made a lot of money in my life, $2 million, couple times. And but it wasn't always like that. Wasn't always like that. Okay, so I grew up in a household where we pretty much had everything, and then when I thought I was grown enough, right, I moved to New York City. And when I moved to New York City, I moved to the ghetto. And when I talk about moving from the nice 3-bedroom rancher and and everything you could ever want in your life, and then I moved to New York City and moved to the ghetto. And in between that time, I had already made my first million. And when you have a lot of money and you don't know what to do with a lot of money, and people see that you have a lot of money, you get a whole lot of problems. Okay, you get a whole lot of problems. I was 28 years old. That marriage didn't last. I moved to New York City into the ghetto. And I'm talking about ghetto where where 2 floors above me is a crack house. I'm talking about ghetto where gunshots and sirens is normal, okay? I was in shell shock, but so happy to be in New York City, it was like euphoria, right? I used to get thrill bumps every time I would see the big buildings and all of that. So the life lesson, life will give us lessons, yes? Right? Life gives us lessons. And so the things that we need to learn come from situations sometimes that are not comfortable. One of my mentors says that your blessing or your gift may come wrapped in sandpaper, right? So it means that it's gonna ouch a little bit in order for you to get the lesson. So as I grew into understanding that this is where most of my people live. Most of my people didn't grow up like I did. Right, upper middle class, so they say, right? And then when I saw how teachers were getting up and going to work every day, functional drug addicts, and then you visit their homes on the weekend for the party, and they don't have furniture, they just have a mat where the baby sleeps, but they got every kind of Gucci or designer label thing that you can think of. And these are postal workers and school teachers. So I began to see the plight of our people. And as I began to do that, I began to remember who it is that I am. And I want to encourage you all to remember that there's a champion that lives inside of you. Okay? That whatever the situation is, that you can rise above the situation. Do you agree? Right? So since there's a champion in us, and I began to recognize, I knew that there was a champion in me. So I went out and found my way back to the next $1 million. So once you do it, you can do it again. So why do I tell you this story? Not to impress you or make it be all about me and I'm this and I'm that. No, it's not that at all. I tell you the story, share the story with you because you each one have a story, right? And it's your story that you're building on. And so I tell you the story and I share with you the story so that you have some idea of who it is that's standing before you, right? When I'm talking to you about money. So is it okay if we have a money conversation tonight? Oh, yeah. Yes? Okay. So this is 2018. Happy New Year! Woo! Right? It's 2018. And we've declared this our year of wealth. Those of you who are new, we want to welcome you as guests. We are the Oneness, right? Team Oneness professional partners. And we specialize in business development and helping households to rise financially. That's what we do. So I needed to tell you the story so that you can understand that, okay, she didn't have it, she had it, then she really didn't have it, and then she worked her way back up to having it, and now I really didn't have it, right? I'm in one of, right? So you get the mountaintop experience, and then you get the valley, right? So in pure transparency and authenticity, right, I'm sharing with you that I'm in the middle of a three-peat, right? Because I know that the champion in me, I did it once, I did it twice, Come on, right? Right? So I can do it again, and this time I want to take people with me. Okay? Because I'm older, wiser, and mature. Because you can get older and not get wise, right? Right? And you can grow and not mature. So I believe I've matured to a place where at least I know I don't want to do that by myself again. And if I can do it, I can show other people how to do it. So who's up for creating wealth in 2018? Okay. All right. Right? So we want to, and wealth means different things to different people. All right? So whatever it is for you. And let me say this, if you feel like you don't need, it don't take that much, right? Some people say, we don't take all that, right? I don't need $1 million, don't take all that. Well, it might not take all that for you personally, but do you know people around you in need? Do you have family members that could use a lift, a hand up, right? So we've been taught all our lives, or you've probably heard this, you know, people say, black people, we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, right? But suppose your boots don't have straps. Suppose you don't even have boots, right? So at least in this room, we know we got boots, and we want to go from bootstrap to big time in 2018. Yes? Yes, yes? Okay. Very good. Very good. So as we get started, I made a promise today to our team on WeChat that we were going to do some things differently. I got a couple surprises for you. So what I would like you to do is, let me set this up for you, right? And we want our guests to participate also. So what I would like you to do, we're going to mingle, okay? But this is how it goes. This is how it goes. You're going to talk to somebody that you did not come in the room with, okay, that you don't know, preferably, all right? And even if it's somebody that you do know, just cross, you know, because most of us know each other in here, right? And so get with somebody, and it looks like this. Come, Kelly. So it looks like this. So Kelly and I are going to pretend that that we're old friends, right? And we're just meeting. Haven't seen each other in a long time, right? And we're just going to say what's going on, okay? Hey, Kelly, oh my gosh, you're so good. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, I know. Oh my gosh, how are you? Good to see you too. What you got? I'm good. What you got going on?
Girl, I came across this financial literacy piece, and it's just opened up a whole new world for me.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's so interesting because, you know, money is what everybody is talking about. And so for me too, I'm just pulling it together.
Yes.
Yep. I'm just pulling it together and just trying to help a lot of folks. How's your family?
Family's great.
Wonderful,
Family is great.
wonderful,
What
wonderful.
about yourself?
I just became a great-grandmother for the second time. My great-grandson born on Christmas Day. Yeah, I know, right? I'm trying to get a name and some pictures now, right? So that's where we are. So I got to run. It was really so great to meet you.
It was good
I mean, to see you again, right?
Yes.
So let's stay in touch.
Sure,
Okay?
absolutely.
All right. Take good care.
You too.
All right. That's part one. Don't go nowhere. Come back. Right? So here's part two, right? So now it's 5 years later. Right? So what you're going to do is turn around. Come back. Oh my gosh, it's been 5 whole years. Wow, what's going on? Yes. So now what you're going to do is you're going to say where your life is in 5 years. So we're not going to do this part because you're not going to cheat and tell my story, our story to each other.
Right.
Where are you in 5 years? Where are you 5 years from now based on where you are right now? So when you tell the first part of the story, say where you are right now. When you tell the second part of the story, when you meet again 5 or 10 years later, where are you now? Where are you now? So let's do that. Everybody up. Thank you. Everybody up. Come on, y'all walking. The reason why we didn't put so many chairs in the room is so you could walk around. And try not to bump into the cameras. Wonderful, wonderful. So how did that feel? Somebody give me some feedback. How did that feel?
Man, that felt great.
Yeah.
Why?
Because, I mean, I'm talking about being retired at 45, and my kids going to a private school. I mean, man, starting a business, having wealth, land, teaching. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good feeling. Okay. How's it feel? Somebody else. Excellent. Yes.
I enjoyed it. I met a sister that we had a lot of stuff in similarity, actually in the same field, and I'm at the point now where 5 years I'm ready to tell a success story. So it was just like,
Okay.
I was just like telling my business plan today, like, yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Who else? Somebody else. What happened? What happened in your body? How did it feel?
Man,
Everything is possible.
That anything is possible?
I learned a lot from her. That short period of time this lady here. She's got a lot going on. And I know we can do some action and work with some advertising, some other things.
Excellent, excellent. Sabrina?
I felt like I was able to reconnect and feel. Usually, when you tell somebody your plan, and then you're able to reconnect on that plan, you can feel the energy, and that to me was more important than anything. Because sometimes when you're looking at all the details, you can lose energy, and that's what I feel. It's the power to go ahead and keep going.
Yes, 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 yes. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yes.
Mine was good, but I just want a little bit eye-opener.
It's a little bit what?
Eye-opener.
Eye-opener how?
Because I got asked a question out of the day. Because I want to move to Miami. So Sim asked me a question like, how's the market down there? And it kind of threw me for a loop. Like, that's a great question. So it was like an eye-opener, like think more in depth into my goals and my future. You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So the reason why we do an exercise like this is so that you can feel where you are, right? Was there a difference when you were telling like where you are right now?
oh yeah.
Until then, when you turned around and it's 5 years later, was there a difference?
Oh, yeah.
You can feel it in your body, right? Your whole mind had to shift so that you could you could speak into the future. Speak into the future. If you never speak into your future, you're going to always have what you have. Right? Because word is power. And we have another saying, Brother Asim, word is bond, right? So word is bond, not just because I tell you I'm going to do something and I fulfill it. The universe takes you at your word. Okay? When you put it out there, it will just as surely as you living come back to you, but you won't even make the connection if you're not conscious. So it's important that you understand where you are right now, right? We in the millionaires club, right? It's important that you understand where you are right now and how it is you're going to track yourself there. But if you never put your mind, which is your life GPS, if you never set the coordinates to get there, you're not going to make it. So I've been talking to you about this wealth quest. It starts with setting the GPS. If you get in your car and you're going somewhere and you've never been there before, what do you first have to do? You got to get directions. And if somebody else is driving, you have to do what? Give directions. Right? And so what we don't realize is that our subconscious is driving. And it's going to continue to take us everywhere we've already been. Because we complain about the same thing we've always complained about. Yes? Right? We talk about the things that we've talked about our whole life the same way. The same way. So 5 years from now, if you want your life to be different, you have to speak it. And when you put your whole body in motion around it, that's called emotion, right? And the E is for energy. And you put that energy in motion, right? We're not talking about emotion like, right? We're not talking about that, right? We're not talking about I'm suffering and all the stuff we get emotional, quote unquote, about. We're talking about energy in motion. And when you put your whole body into an exercise like that, you're going to always remember that. You've made connections here tonight with people that you may or may not have known, right? That forwarded you in some way. In some way. So give yourselves a hand for it. All right. Wonderful. The next thing I want to do is I want to show you a short clip. So how many of you actually watched the video that I sent out on WeChat? I know. I know. Right? So so would you give me permission to lead you? Yeah? So I'm not just, when I'm word is bond, I'm not just putting stuff out there just to be putting stuff out there. We're going somewhere. We are going somewhere. Right? And so I'm not, this is not just willy-nilly for me. Right? I have a space for you in my heart, and we're going somewhere. And in the background, when you don't see me, right, and Brother Muhammad, when you don't see us, we are working on your behalf, and you don't even know yet. Okay? You don't even get it. But we are so clear about where you are in terms of what you've already shared with us, what's going on in your life, right? And we know that we have to set the foundation for where we're going, but we can't take you if you don't put your mind on it. Right? And we're really not taking you. You get to come or not. That's just the bottom line. Right? You get to come or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a short segment of the video. All right? And it has an exercise in it. And we're going to do the exercise. Okay? Because we're going to put our energy in motion again.
Let go.
Okay? And let go. All right. Ready? Oh, sorry.
I'll meet you by the tree of broken glass, where the hope that anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know and toss them in the sea of thought-filled dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear them calling out our names, calling out our names. Though we might fade in fall, we'll keep on standing tall.
Remember this story about this little girl who was in a science module in class. And the teacher asked the students, what is the universe? And she said, the universe is one big orgasm. She wanted to say organism, but she said, it's one big orgasm. And the teacher said, that gives a new meaning to the Big Bang Theory. But here's the deal, the proverbial Big Bang. From this infinite void of infinite possibility, the luminous darkness, that undifferentiated wholeness of life and love and beauty and intelligence, it was an orgasm. It was a moment of total celebration, total fulfillment, bursting into expression. You are here to localize a cosmic celebration. You are here. You've been dancing and celebrating since the time you got here. you have been hugging and embracing since the time you got here. You are localizing a cosmic celebration with the awareness that you're already fulfilled. Everything you can want, hope for, and desire is within you, and that you're setting it free. I want you to do something for a moment. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. I want you to consider when the surface mind is having sway, what does it say that you're missing in your life? You know inside there's a fulfillment. I wish I had more fill in the blank. More money, more prosperity, more peace of mind, more health, more love in my life. Whatever it is that appears to be lacking, just be aware of that, what that surface mind is saying. I want you now to become aware of someone in your life or someone that you know where that particular quality of life is not an issue.
There's a energy motion on the planet that's supporting everything it is that we're doing. Everything. And so we would be, I would be selfish if I didn't plug you into that and to help you to know that it's not as bad as it looks outside. Okay? And that your 5 years from now is more than possible. And it doesn't have to take 5 years. Okay? So why celebrate the person, the quality in the person that you think is lacking in you? Because that's a place of your not enoughness. That's a place where you don't think you're good enough to have the thing that you're looking for, but and you see it in somebody else, and there's a space of envy. Okay? And so why am I having this conversation? Because we're not going to get to wealth. We're not going to get to the millionaire club. We're not going to get to those places that is the breakthrough unless we let some stuff go. Right? Unless we let some stuff go. Maintain your core character. But it's stuff in all of us that we need to release and let go. And there's other things that we need to receive. Right? And part of that receiving is the wealth part. Right? We think it has to come from somewhere. You have to radiate it out. It's already in you. It's already in you. So this is a financial literacy class about bringing what's already in you out. And the things that you need to know are the things that you want to receive in terms of your education, in terms of broadening who it is that you are in your beingness so that you can radiate it. Right? So when I walk into a room, nobody knows there's only 11 cents in my checking account. Right? Because I know how to ooze prosperity, because I've known what that feels like. So the reason why I want you to go through the exercise, right? And I'm not surprised none of you celebrated, the thing on the, I'm not surprised at all, because you're all stuck. You're stuck. Right? Right? I'm not saying anything that's not true. We stuck in who it is we are. We stuck in our ego. We stuck in I'm not going to let anybody see me do that. We stuck in whatever that is. And I submit to you, unless you get unstuck, it's not the wealth that you're looking for is not coming. Why do you think wealthy people can celebrate? It's not because they got so much money, because so much money brings so many problems. You got to manage that stuff every day. Every day you got to wake up, look at your checking account, talk to your accountant. You got to be figuring out what you're going to do to avoid taxes. You got to make sure that you put in your money where it can grow. You got to make sure that it's everywhere that it needs to be to accumulate and all those kinds of things. And we don't pay attention to our money like that. We can't even save a dime out of a dollar. Am I telling the truth? Right? But we want wealth. Right? So what does that do? That creates what's called cognitive dissonance inside of you. Because the thing that you're wanting, you don't have the activity to support it. You got to have the activity to support it. You can't go on bad mouthing everything, right? Everything can't be a problem. Right? Everything can't be lack and limitation. Everything can't be, I can't afford that. Right? If you keep living in that, that's what your 5 years is going to look like. You have to change your language. And so what I came to do tonight is to disrupt us enough to change the format, because this ain't usually what we do. Okay? Right? I want to change the format to get us to change our minds and be different in 2018. Happy New Year. Right? What we happy about? It's going to be the same old shit. Right? Unless we do something different. Right? If your 2016 looked like your 2017 and your 2017 is going to turn into what 2018 looked like, and hey, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. You're going to remain where you are. It's always going to be a struggle, and it doesn't have to be a struggle. You don't have to suffer. It's already in you. So let's unlock that. Is that okay? All right, so that's what I'm up to. I'm here to be a disruption in your life. Right? Some closer than others. Okay? Yes? All right. So, what I want to do is welcome you to, we're going to get down to the business now, although that was the most important business that we just did. I want to welcome you to Great Rising Holdings. And we have partnership with Cal Choice Financial. We have a partnership with World Financial Group. Okay? We have partnerships with Muhammad Business Solutions. We have partnerships with High Point Automotive, right? We sell cars. We flip houses, right? We develop real estate. I just today got my assistant to send me the list of the LLCs that we created in 2011 in New Mexico that are registered. Right? I have had them all along. It wasn't time to use them. It's time to use them. How many of you have a business entity? Okay? That's registered. Right? Can fully operate, right? Okay? Yeah, right. And we don't mind paying taxes. If you're going to make money, you're going to pay taxes. Otherwise, you're going to be in cognitive dissonance. Right? You're going to be fighting it, and it's just how it is. You just got to make enough to live like you want to live and pay taxes. Right? Okay. Because taxes are going up. I've been saying it for months now. Right? Okay. Taxes are going up. So you have to have a business. If you do not have a business, then you can't participate in capitalism in this country. And this is a capitalist society. And so you're either a capitalist or you're a consumer. You're either a capitalist or a consumer. So Great Rising, we do business development. And so why am I talking about this? Because I want you to think about where you fit in. We're looking for talent. Okay? Where do you fit in? We develop businesses. We raise capital. We provide trade lines. And this may be going over here. I'm just going to keep going, but those are some of the things that we do. Right? We provide low-cost automobile loans. Right? Subprime to the people that bank said no. We do that. Help people get into automobiles. Right? We provide a service called land banking. How many have heard of land banking?
Okay, so you're worried about your financial future. Maybe you've lost money from a poor investment, or you're just looking for a solution to catch up on your retirement savings. You've heard a lot of people talk about the benefits of investing in land. They boast about their favorable returns and secure financial freedom. But you're still apprehensive. Where is the best place to buy property? And when is the best time to buy? Are you even qualified for this investment? Well, let CalChoice Investments put your worries to rest with their land banking solution. With the CalChoice Land Banking Solution, you'll receive expert help to build your personal wealth and diversify your investment portfolio. The strategy is simple. Buy land in a predictable path of growth, hold your insured grant deed until its value increases, and then sell it for a profit. We've all seen land developing on the outskirts of our communities, sometimes so suddenly it seems overnight. Whoa, hey, where'd that come from? And we've all said, if I'd known back then what I know now. Well, now is your opportunity. Now is the time to secure your financial future. The professionals at CalChoice are constantly seeking out new knowledge to make sure you're getting the right land at the right time in the path of growth and priced below market value. They do this by thoroughly analyzing the future potential of your land, doing all the research and paperwork so that you don't have to. In other words, CalChoice does the heavy lifting while you rest easy. Better yet, they stick with you even after your purchase is complete by providing quarterly updates via newsletter, property profile, and online tax support for your land. And you'll be surprised at how easy it is to pay for your investment. You can purchase land with cash or tax-deferred money, such as your existing IRAs and 401ks, without penalties or tax consequences. So if you're ready to take the next step toward the long-term financial freedom you've always dreamed of, contact the CalChoice specialist who referred you and ask for their promotional code. Not tomorrow, but now. Now is the time to secure your financial future. So what are you waiting for?
Land banking. So land banking is what we want to get involved in to do what? Huh? Make money? Create wealth? Develop assets? Assets? Right. So land banking. Did you notice that in the video he said that the experts at CalChoice are always seeking new knowledge? New knowledge. That means there's some new stuff happening on the planet, right? This is new. Land banking. So it means that you can buy land in the path of growth and it will triple in less than 5 years. So we did the 5 year. Where are you going to be from 5 years, right? You're going to own some, how many of you are going to own some land? Right? Right, you're going to own some land. Land banking. And for people who have 401ks and IRAs and a whole list of other, what they call qualified benefits, right? They can move their money from there to the land banking and make way more money than their 401k ever made, right? And so it's still earning. And you own property rather than paper, right? Right? You own real estate. Right? It's called a hard asset, right? Rather than a paper asset. A 401k is a paper asset, right? And when the market goes down, it goes down, right? And you lose money. They ain't making no more land. It's not going anywhere, right? We've got land in the path of growth. Right now we're selling in California where they're preparing for the 2028 Olympics. The land starts at $92,000 an acre, right? You come together with a group of people who want to buy, and you're 40,000, this person's 40,000, and another person, you can buy plots of land, they give you the certificate, you own that. There's always Walmart, Lowe's, all the big box stores are already there. Already there. And now they're selling all those plots, and the value. I heard Rob say the value is like 10%, and that's a way understatement. You can triple your money in 3 to 5 years. So that means if you started with 40, how much would you have? Hey, do the math. Right, we're financial professionals, right? Do the math. Okay, so new knowledge, private reserve accounts. Private reserve accounts.
Old, broke. Well, that's not good. Seriously though, this is where millions and millions of people are headed if something doesn't change now. And that's why at CalChoice Financial, we created the private reserve account. A simple way for mainstream Americans to secure their retirement, protect their loved ones, and fund their dreams along the way. Here's how it works. Imagine creating your own banking alternative. And not just some ordinary bank, but the ultimate bank. Think about that for a minute. If it's your bank, what benefits would you give yourself? It would be a bank where your savings account actually grows by being linked to stock market gains so you can benefit from those big rallies. And as your money grows, the gains are locked in, so no more of those scary drops. That's a win-win. You'd be able to access the growing value of your account anytime you want for any reason you have. No taxes, no qualifications, no questions asked. After all, it's your money. Oh, did we mention no taxes? And since it is your bank, you'd be earning the interest on the money you borrow from yourself while you pay yourself back. What? Let's keep going. You would have no early withdrawal penalties, unlimited contributions, and a college planning fund with no restrictions. When properly structured, your bank could pay off your mortgage in half the time, could provide living benefits for critical and terminal illness. And if something ever happened to you, your ultimate bank would be transferable to your heirs tax-free. Seems impossible, right? Nope. You just didn't know that the wealthy have been doing this for years. Now you're wondering, so why doesn't everyone open a private reserve account? Exactly. The real question is, why don't you? Contact your CalChoice financial representative today to set up your private reserve account and help put a stop to America's retirement crisis. CalChoice Financial, we're with you all the way.
Sound like new knowledge? Right, sounds like new knowledge because we haven't known about that. And we haven't known about that, but the wealthy people have been doing it since like the 1800s, the late 1800s, right? They bank privately. You do not see wealthy people standing in line at the bank. They're not there, right? They are not present, okay? But we don't even think about that, right? So a private reserve account is you being your own bank, right? You being your own bank. So this is what that looks like. So how many of, I'm going to date myself here. How many of you remember when in your house you had a phone that was about this big and it was plugged into the wall, right? It was plugged into the wall and there wasn't no cell phones, right? There was no cell phones. So I know Brian's like, huh? What? Bill's like, huh? So what has happened is, just like now we all have cell phones, is a reason, and how many of you have used online banking? Okay, right, online banking. So in the palm of your hand, not only do you have this that used to be plugged into the wall and you couldn't go nowhere with it, right, but you can also bank online, right? Now, you can be your own bank. You can be your own bank. And we help people set that up. How do you do that, right? How do you do that? And so we start with what's called a financial needs analysis or fact finder. And in that fact finder, looks like this. In this fact finder, it's going to scare you to death. And here's why. Okay? We would rather stick pins in our eyes than have to deal with this stuff. right? I said earlier that we don't even want to save a dime out of a dollar, but we want to be wealthy. There's a disconnect somewhere. Okay? You have to start here. You have to start with where you are now, what your goals and dreams are for the future, 5 to 10, 15 years, right? Wealthy people think long term. Poor people think right now. Okay? So we start with this. Why? Because you sit with someone like myself, a licensed professional, and because I understand what this is, I can help you navigate your whole financial life to get you from where you are to where you say you want to be in 5 years. But it ain't I don't have no sprinkle fairy dust, right? I would say I don't have a magic wand, but I do. Right? But it works for me. So, right? So you have to start somewhere, and this is where you start. And you start this by making an appointment to having this done. Okay? Then the next thing is you have to decide once you do this and you have your land banking and your, what was the last thing we just looked at? Your PRA, your private reserve account, and we start funding that for you, right? Now you get to see how it works from the inside because somebody that looks like you just showed you how it works, right? And ain't nobody coming from Merrill Lynch or Ameritrade, or they're not coming to knock on your door or invite you to E Square Artworks to show you how it works. They're not coming, right? Nobody coming to rescue you, right? Right? You have to be your own savior. And it starts somewhere. It starts with what we did today in terms of gaining access to that part of you that is already 5 years down the line. You can relive that moment. Every time you feel like you sliding back, relive to where you're going to be 5 years from now. And then discipline yourself to do the things that are necessary to become and to be wealthy. As we close, I want to, can you help me, Brian? I think we have enough. Would you make sure everybody gets one of these? Thank you. It's a pack of 3. So the other thing I want to share with you that's different is another part of my story is that I'm a global leader with a company called Motivating the Masses. And it's a Lisa Nichols organization, okay? And so part of my responsibility when I came out of that class in 2013 was to do this, to get in the community, to motivate the masses, to do what's necessary to be done so that we can help households get to where they need to be, and then communities turn into what they need to be, right? And then we start owning and controlling our own. That's what this is about, okay? So if you're not clear, I'm here for the takeover, all right? If you're not clear, I'm here for the takeover. That you begin to take over your life, take over your finances, right? Take over your future. I'm here to help you do that. So what you have in front of you or in your hand now, by now, is, what page does it start with? So I went to what's called a Powerhouse Speakers Academy, and one of the things that they taught us is forecasting your business. And so you have a summary sheet, right? Don't you have this? Is that what it is? Yes? Yes? Forecasting your business summary? Yes? All right. So in the next few minutes, what I want to do is talk about it. Because I asked how many of you have businesses, right? And for those of you who don't have businesses, I encourage you to start one. And if you don't know how to start one, how to get your EIN number and all those kinds of things, there are people right here in this room help you do that. Great Rising helps you do that, all right? So some of the key points that you have to understand when you're forecasting your business is that you have to discover your own financial foundation. And that's what financial literacy is. Financial literacy is your financial foundation. Y'all all right? Okay. Is your financial foundation. You have to understand what your beliefs about money are. What are your beliefs about money? Because it's those beliefs about money that have us where we are right now. It's what we believe. Okay? What we believe about money. Taking financial assessment to understand where you are right now. So when I talked about the fact sheet, right? This is going to help you to understand, the fact finder is going to help you to understand where you are right now. This is necessary. If you go to any financial professional, this is what they're going to start you with. I don't care where it is on the planet, because it's mandated by law that when you start talking to people about their finance, that you find out their suitability. And that's what this fact finder does. Okay? The other thing it does, it helps us to understand what's really happening in our community. It's a research document. Okay? A lot of things going on here. Creating your financial vision. So we did the 5-year piece, right? So how many of you have your financial vision actually written down somewhere? Okay, very good. If you don't have it in writing, right, word is bond. Whether you speak it, you write it, you think it. You have to write it down. Where are you going? It is your roadmap. And if you don't write it down, how are you going to get there? You just going to wake up every morning and hope and pray? How's that working for you? Right? Creating your cash calculator and designing a financial plan for yourself. So we'll talk about that. So this is the beginning of this motion for the year, okay? So you have to remember that money has two purposes: to standardize value and to store value, right? So just think about these terms. I'm not going to, where's your paper? Huh? It wasn't no more. Okay. All right. All right, thank you. Right? If you want to be rich, you need to do the things that wealthy people do. How many times have you heard me say that? Change your timeline from in the moment to 5 to 10 to 15 years. Wealthy people think long term, right? Make sacrifices today for tomorrow's success. You don't have to have it right now. Can you live on the 90 cents, right? Right? In other words, can you save 10 cents on the dollar? And you can start that by just dropping a dime in a jar. It starts building the muscle, right? Right? We've all exercised before, right? You start out on day 1, right? You can't walk on day 2. Right? And until you get the muscles, right? Until you strengthen that muscle. So for every dime that you put in the jar, you're strengthening your saving muscle. It's the same principle. Okay? If you're not going to get wealthy if you cannot save money. Forget about it. Forget about it. Because even if you get a windfall, right, which means it all comes at one time, you get $1 million. We already know what happens to the lottery winners, right? Yeah, you get a lot of money. How many of us had a lot of money all at one time, right, and don't have it right now, right? Because you don't know how to keep it. It's not how much you earn, it's how much you keep, right? You have to change. Okay, make sacrifice. Remember, wealthy people think long-term, poor people think short-term. I said that. Your beliefs about your finances can be a result of many things. You can believe that your finances are the way they are because of your gender, your nationality, your culture, your community, your family, your environment. But most of all, it's your self-talk. It's what you tell yourself every day when you wake up in the morning. So if you wake up in the morning and the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh my God, I can't pay that bill, right? That's what you just programmed into your beingness, into your world. Oh my God, I can't pay that bill. And so the universe is going to say, oh, she doesn't want to pay the bill. He doesn't want to pay the bill. Because the universe only says yes. The universe only says yes. And when you start to really hear that and understand that, because right now you'd be like, Yeah, right. But the universe only says yes. So you have to be careful what you put out into the universe, because the universe doesn't hear what you don't want. It only hears what you put out there, and that's what begins to manifest. You manifest your own reality. Okay? Your self-talk. Turn the page over. I think you have characteristics to create wealth. Yes? Oh, on another piece of paper? Okay. Save more, spend less. First rule of wealth, pay yourself first. Live on 90% of your income. That means you're saving how much? 10%. Wealth is created between your income and your expenses. It's the money in the middle. That's what's creating the wealth. It's between what you brought in and what you have to pay out. Right? And we get so caught up on what has to get paid out, we never pay ourselves first. Right? And trust and believe. When we leave here, them people still gonna be trying to get paid. All right? Right, Velveeta? Right? Right, Velveeta owns, and Tommy owns Hairston a funeral home, right? So they can wait. Are they more important than you? No. But if all you do is pay them, you're just making somebody else wealthy. You got to figure that thing out and make them wait. And we are so programmed. We are so programmed that we gotta pay everybody else first. That we suffer for that. Wealthy people will let the thing go bankrupt, but they gonna take care of themselves. Okay? And believe me, they come out smelling like a rose. And you gotta know how to do that thing. Right? They start businesses to not pay the bills. Okay, and I'm not saying that that's what we're going to do. I'm saying what's happening in the world, and that as a culture, we think that we're righteous. Right? Right? We think that we're righteous because we pay our bills on time.
Mama just dropped off all 10.
Right? But you broke. Right? You don't even eat. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah. So true. Mama just dropped off all 10. I took her to do it. Said I gotta go get 12 stamps to drop off. All 10 bills.
Yeah, on time. It's the 3rd of the month, on time.
Yeah.
Right? We equate that with our personal integrity. Right? And that's why, one of the reasons why we're in the shape that we're in, it's just money, and they will wait. And if they don't wait, they will charge it off and get paid anyway, whether it come from you or they just write it off as a business expense.
They sure do.
Right? They got insurance for that stuff. They take out insurance in case you don't pay your bill. They going to get paid anyway. And then after they get paid, they're going to sell the bill to somebody else who's going to start chasing you for the money. Come on now. Right? Okay? I'm just saying what's so, right? Okay. Okay. So the money in between, wealth is in between the income and the expenses. All right? Learn to invest wisely. The PRA, the private reserve account, and land banking is wise investing. Okay? Your action plan to increase wealth. Create a clear budget. It kind of starts right here. Not kind of, it does. Right? But you should already know how much is coming in, how much is going out. Right? And what's the number in the middle. And you take the 10% off the top. Now, if you're a person that tithes, right, and some people do, you got to work that out. Okay? So if you take yours after charity, but get yours, right? Take yours first, then give everybody else. Ooh. Right, you're looking at me like, ooh, she evil. Create a saving strategy 10 cents off out of every dollar. Live by your wealth profile. We're going to get into what your wealth profile is. All right, so everybody knows what their profile is. Save half of your income. That's the goal. To be able to save half of the money that comes in your house. That it ain't going out to somebody else. Okay? Pay yourself first. We said that, right? Yeah. It's number 2, and it's the next to last one. And focus on your time horizon. So what is your time horizon? 5 years. 5 years. So here's what we're going to do. I'm challenging us to rise in 2018. In 2018, that we set the benchmark in 2018 for where we're going over the next 5 years. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Financial assessment. Y'all have this, right? All right. Financial assessment. I'm going to run through these. You don't have to answer them now, but take them home and do this. And then if you don't do this, ask yourself why. Why am I in resistance to this? Right? Because that resistance has you stuck. So, go through each question and rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 means you are not good at it all. How am I not reading that? At all. You're not good at it at all. Okay? And 10 means you haven't mastered. The rest falls somewhere in between. You should have already completed this assessment in Wisdom and Wealth, our fun book. So, I got a whole curriculum. I got stacks of stuff like this, right, about wealth building, about financial literacy, that goes beyond the presentations that we just do on Wednesday nights. And this is the stuff that we have to get in our community. We have to learn the rule of 72, right? We have to learn the high cost of waiting. We have to understand that if we don't put our 401k money someplace, we're going to get to be old and broke. And that's not good. I'm 60, okay? So let's do something different, okay? 1, have a clear working written business plan. Write it down. Write it down. And then follow your plan. How many of you ever worked on a job before? When you go to work, do they already have it planned out what you're supposed to come in there and do? And is it written down somewhere? And they gave it to you in the orientation, said this is the policy and this, and you got to sign it and you coming in and this what you're going to. How come your life is not that important? That you get up every day and aimlessly wander through hoping stuff is going to work out and you don't have a plan for what you're doing to create wealth. You have to have a written plan, working plan. Number 2, I use a financial tracking system. So whether you use QuickBooks or Quicken, if you're in business, you know about that stuff. If you're not, do you use a spreadsheet? Something. You got to write it down. How much came in? How much went out? How many of you keep your receipts? You know, receipts is money, right? Okay. I have and follow clear financial goals, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Clear financial goals every day, right? So that you're not haphazardly buying this over here and buying that over there and everything is just in the moment, right? Daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. 4, I know the base price needed for my profit. If you're in business, how much do you have to sell your service for, right? In order for you to make a profit, right? You got to know what your number is. If you work on a job, how much do you demand that they pay you? Right? You got to know what your number is. I know my budget and stick with them. I know my budget and I stick with it. So whether that's if you do hair, they have what they call a back bar, right? That's where all the shampoos and stuff is. You got to know how much every ounce. I make a lot of skincare. I know how much a drop in a 1 ounce bottle. I know how much, depending on what oil it is, I know how much one drop out of that bottle costs when I'm making my products. You got to know it down to the nth degree. Okay? I track productivity and raise prices based on this. We scared to raise the price. Am I talking to somebody? We scared to raise the price. Right? We scared to raise the price. But is the value there? If the value's there,
That's right.
right? And then your market will come to you.
That's right.
Okay? I am comfortable with the amount of debt I have. I carry no high interest debt. 18%, 24%, 25%, 28%. And up, right? Number 9, I understand the differences between good debt and bad debt. So, one of the things that we do is we help businesses with trade lines. We talked about trade lines last week. A trade line is where the banks have a inventory of loans that have been paid off already, right? Before the 7 years is up, that they have to take them off the books. They sell those credit blocks, those loans. So if the loan was paid off and it never had any hiccups, it was all paid on time and all that, and it's a $100,000 loan, you can buy the credit line and put it on your credit report, like you paid it off. Okay? That's what banks do. That's one of the things, the services that they provide for wealthy people or people who know. And the only difference between wealthy people and not wealthy people is what they know and what they do and how they do it. Okay? So why am I talking about credit lines? Because a credit line that you purchase like that is good debt. It's actually an asset because it boosts your credit score up. And when you go to the bank, what our banker is telling me is that they will generally give you twice as much as the credit line that you just purchased. Because they say, well, if you can pay off $50,000, you can pay off $100,000. Right? Okay? There's a difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is when the interest rate is over 10%. Let's just start there, right? So how many know the rule of 72? Have you ever heard the rule of 72? The rule of 72 says that if you take your interest rate and divide it into the number 72, it'll tell you how many years it takes your money to double. So if you were saving money at 10% and you divide 10 into 72, your money would double every 7.2 years. Okay? But if you were paying interest, that means your principal would double every 7.2 years. And you say, well, I'm not going to be in debt that long. Do you know how many people just never pay off their credit card and only pay the minimum? And they do that for years and years and years. It's designed so that you never get out of debt. And if your interest rate is 20%, that means that your principal is going to double every 2.5 to 3 years. You never get out of debt, like ever. Okay? So it's a difference between good debt and bad debt. I know the dollar amount needed to hit my break even, and I have a plan to achieve that. So your break even is how much money do you want to make in 2018? Let's stretch it there. Right? How much? What is your number? What's your number, Bill? 30,000. What's your number, Kelly? $1 million. What's your number, Whitney? 200. $200,000. What's your number, Tommy? What's y'all number, Velveeta? $1 million. Tommy said $1 million. Yes. What's your number, Bill? $1 million too? Okay. $1 million. That's 1.2 million. $1 million too. 1.3. Okay. I like how you do that. Just move the number up and put a decimal point in there, right? Yeah, add a couple zeros, like 6 or 7, right? What's your number, Whitney?
I need a
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get, infinity.
Okay, we want an infinite amount of money, unlimited. So the abundance is boundless, right? You can take abundance from abundance and it's still abundant, right? That's abundance. I know that was good, right? What's your number, Asim? What's your number, brother Hashim, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. What's your number, brother Hashim? It's $1 million? Okay, so when I was trying to get the sister's name, she was trying to get herself together. So what's your name?
Rashida.
Rashida. Okay, what's your number, Rashida?
I'm like Whitney. I'm thinking infinite.
Infinite, right? Oh, okay. Okay, what's your number, Muhammad? L.
About 5 million.
5 million. Okay. Sabrina?
I hear that. So, break even, I need $100,000 just to
The break even. Okay, let's get that straight. Okay.
Once I break even, I'm worth $1.5 billion.
I like the B word. Okay, I like the B word. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. 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 What's your number, Rashidi?
7 million.
Okay. Justice?
Well, I affirm this every morning, so we in confirmation with the vision.
Okay. Okay. Brian? $1 million? Okay. My number is hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of dollars. Huh? Oh, is that what Google means? Thank you. Right? That's like new knowledge for me. I had no idea what Google meant. Right? So hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of dollars. Why?
I expect that.
Yes.
You need to.
Yes. I commanded, I demanded, I expected, I receive it.
That's right.
Right? So how can I say that it flows off my tongue like that? Because I say that every day.
Right.
Right? Several times a day. Right? Okay? And so what begins to happen is the universe starts lining up all the things that you need to come into your existence and in your life, and it starts just coming together. Just like the planets, right? It's no different. It's no different. We're just out of alignment because of the way we think and speak. And when we get in alignment, it's called synchronicity. How many times you think about somebody and they call you? Right? That's a law in the universe that you just tap into. If you keep thinking, right, and it's usually just in passing. Okay? So you get on that frequency and the universe will conspire on your behalf. And you will meet people and situations and circumstances will begin to come around you. And then you start to live in this charm circle where it seems like there's, yes, and on the other side, shit is crashing down. Okay? It's just falling apart because there's some stuff that you have to let go. And the only way the universe can tell you that is to cause pain to push you. Okay? Pain has to push you, right? So that your vision can pull you. And once that begins to happen and you lock in more into the vision than you do the pain, the transition starts to happen in your life. And all the things start to line up. And then you start noticing them. And then the more thankful and grateful you are for the alignments as they are occurring, it starts to happen faster and you can accelerate it. Come on, give me some. Come on, go on with it.
I'm rolling with it.
Yes, it's our time.
Going all the way.
Right. Right.
It's our time.
I almost scared it's rolling so fast, but I hear you, sister. I need
Yeah,
you. I don't know if I can keep up with
you can keep up. You can keep up. You can keep up because it starts happening faster and faster, and the money starts coming, and all of a sudden it's like, right? And if you don't know what to do with it, right? It'll keep going. It'll come in your pocket and go into somebody else's.
Exactly.
It's a pass through, right? You become a pass through because you didn't think you were worthy of it. And you only prove that you're worthy of it is when you start planning for it. Okay?